Wagner, and I'm going to be interviewing my dad about his job.
Hi, I'm Bryce Wagner.
And so, what do you do as your job?
I am the Executive Director of Mercy Ships Global. Mercy Ships is an international charity that has hospital ships that help poor people in Africa.
So, what do you like about your job?
I like the fact that I'm able to do something that is making a difference in others, that I'm able to travel, and I love the fact as well that my family can many times travel with me when we're going to some of these places where we're serving some of the world's poorest people.
Okay. What do you exactly do in your job?
I coordinate the collaboration of all of our different entities. So we have 16 national markets around the world, and each market is its own legal charity, and my job is to get all of these charities and our ships and our programs departments and HR departments to work together and try to troubleshoot any problems and to make us more efficient and effective in what we do.
So how do you use communication to bring people together?
Well, we have multiple different ways. Because all of our offices are in offices all over the world, from New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, across Europe, States and Canada, it's not easy for us to be together at the same place all at the same time. Now, we know face-to-face communication is very important, so we do organize twice a year an event where key leaders are getting together and discussing topics and finding ways to work together. However, in between time, we've developed something that's called virtual roundtables, where we have an hour-long session. It's a video conference where everyone is behind their computers. They can see each other and talk to each other, and we take one subject or one issue and try to find a solution together.
Okay. Is it hard to try to find a time when to do these
virtual roundtables?
Virtual roundtables.
Yes, absolutely. Because of time differences.
Yeah.
A lot of times, if we really want one where all of our different regions of the world are on at the same time, we usually have to do something where our teams that are on the west coast of the States have to call in at 5 in the morning. And then some of the others on the other spectrum, like in New Zealand, it'll be the following day at 2 o'clock in the morning, and the whole spectrum in between. Australia will call in at 11 o'clock. And then across Europe, it's a bit easier because it's in the middle of the day.
Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite mean of communication?
My favorite means of communication. I would say it's face-to-face communication is what I like the best.
Yeah.
Now, video conference is almost the same. I don't like as much as the telephone. I love to be able to see people's faces and see reactions and to judge and see how we're connecting.
Okay.
So I think video is a real key aspect in to make my favorite type of communication.
Okay. How big does communication play in your role?
It's basically everything. It's because my role is about working with and dealing with people. You actually can't really work and deal with people very well without communication, whether it's written or video or face-to-face.
Okay. So, what type of written communication do you use?
There's all levels. I think that written communication is essential. Even if we're having these virtual roundtables, there's somebody who's taking notes and writing down what we're doing, because it's important to not lose what you've discussed or what you've decided on as action steps. So there's always somebody taking notes. I find the same thing. Even if I call somebody on the phone, I will always follow up with an email on this is what we said, this is what we discussed. So there's not a lack of communication later or somebody saying, oh, that's not really what we discussed. Now, in a deeper level, we do have reports. Each of our offices and our departments have to create written reports quarterly to help us understand where we're at and if we're meeting our goals.
Okay.
And then as well, we have, those are internal reports, and then we also have a whole lot of external reports. How do we write reports to foundations or donors or different people who have supported a specific project, communicating back to them through a written report?
Yeah, okay. What is the advantages and the disadvantages about written communication?
The advantages are it's documented. It's basically kind of set in stone. Once you write something down and you distribute it, that's what's been said. And whereas verbal communication, there can be doubts unless you've recorded it.
Right.
Well, what did we really say?
Yeah.
That's an advantage. The disadvantage is that you better make sure what you're writing is spot on what you want, because it is basically, in a sense, kind of set in stone.
All right. Thank you so much for this interview.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.